welcome back to the Journey to the FarLands. Alright, well, let's see. Let's just bust on out of here. And, judging from the compass, well, let's see. Let's cover that up. And I believe that's the direction I need to go. Alright, let's get a move on. Time's a-wasting. Alright, well, here we are. This is the 307th Minecraft day since leaving spawn. Seems like a little while ago. Come on, get with the aim. There we go. There. That's better. Back down on the ground. Anyhow, proceeding along, the world size has reached 3,864.06 megabytes, which means that the interim size goal has reached down to, we're only 135.94 megabytes away. And we can achieve that in 4 episodes. Yeah, that is sounding pretty doggone good to me. Oh boy. I'll tell you what, the nostalgia is strong. Real strong. I mentioned last episode that I had been once again rewatching Co's Quest, and at that point I believe I was about 35 episodes into the quest, and about 20 minutes ago I finished watching episode flatulence. Yeah, episode 107. I don't know why I managed to forget what episode number it was. I just looked at it a few minutes ago. Episode 107, where he's working on that minecart station that he built to connect the tracks that came from CQHQ and the track with from Castle Dogbone and the track another track coming from the water base. And it's kind of, in a way, it's kind of funny and nostalgic, and in some ways it's almost painful watching the redstone newbiness going on there. And I'm not saying that in a disrespectful fashion, because when the first time I watched that, I didn't have a freaking clue about any of it. And the fact that he was able to puzzle that out and get that thing put together and working was freaking awesome to me. Yeah, that's not going to go anywhere. This is only a little bit better. Okay. Yeah. So that was kind of cool. He spent a lot of time puzzling the whole thing out. Remember, this happened way back in Minecraft Alpha. And, you know, we're talking December of 2010 he was doing this, I think it was. And it was kind of, it was cool to me. I had never actually watched a whole lot of anybody doing anything with redstone. Of course, part of that is because Co's Quest was the first LP the second LP that I was watching. The first one was Simple Gamers, and from him I learned about CoStar. CoStar presented another binge watching opportunity, because there was 125 or 135 episodes or something like that already made by the time I started playing in March of 2011. And yeah, the minecart track that work on that minecart station, it got a bug lit in me that had me wanting to build something like that in my own world. And I started spending a lot of time. I was reading up on the minecart system and how the boosters worked, and because there was a glitch in the way minecarts worked back then, that carts next to each other would be capable of imparting large amounts of momentum. And if you managed to glitch one cart into another, you could make a double cart booster, which would very much vastly increase the amount of momentum you could impart by running it alongside the cart that you wanted to boost. And I was learning about that. I set up a test world that I could play around with and set things up and experiment with it and try to copy working designs that I'd seen on wikis and a few YouTube videos and so on. And I put a good bunch of hours into that and figuring out what I wanted to build for a station. I even built a station in that test world using a tutorial by Necromar, who was, at the time at the least, he was something of a guru of minecarts, minecart stations, and the track switching logic and so on that went into it, and all of that. And I puzzled all that out. I watched some of those videos maybe 20 or 30 times, and I actually got the station built. I got it working. And just about the time I was ready to start work on building something like this in my single-player world that I was doing the LP with, then that's about when Minecraft Beta 1.5 came out. Beta 1.5 is where powered rails were introduced, which was all fine and dandy, all well and good all by itself, but along with powered rails being released, the word went around the grapevine that the glitch boosters were no longer going to work. They were going to that Mojang was going to fix that. And it was kind of a hot topic at the time among Minecraft minecart rail enthusiasts and whatnot. A lot of people weren't thrilled about that at all, because it would mean having to completely redesign entire minecart systems. But yeah, the main annoyance I had about that was, hey, I just figured out this one thing and you changed it all? Gee, how wonderful of you. But in the long run, I got it figured out, because it didn't take long at all for the Minecraft wiki to get updated with stuff about the powered rails. And I spent more time doing more experimenting and learning how those worked and how to use them best, building test tracks and so on. And the station that I had originally built to work with glitch boosters, I worked on redesigning it. There. That's better. Getting the whole thing redesigned to include powered rails instead of glitch boosters. And while at the same time trying to use the same sort of track switching logic. And that was a very entertaining challenge all by itself. Is how to make the two systems fit and work together, even though the switching logic really doesn't have much to do with what makes the carts move. You still have to work the systems together so that the one leaves room for the other. And yeah, looks like it's time to do the elevated sleeping platform. Okay. I could stand to pick up some wool and planks, or logs actually. Yeah, I'll have to try to remember to do that. Anyway, let's see, let's go ahead and put the shears and that down here and there. Yeah. And then let's get out a boat because it's boat time. All right. And it was just one of those things. In a way, it's sort of, it's very nostalgic to watch all that stuff again. And in some ways, it's almost painful. I mean, granted, I was a complete redstone noob myself. I barely knew how to make a redstone torch turn on or turn off or whatever. And so on. So I didn't have any room to talk. And like I said, the first time I was watching all that stuff, it's like, wow, this is cool. How does that work? You know, and so on. But watching it now, it's like, oh my God, I can see the mistakes you're making in this from a mile away. Just take this, move it from that to here, and it'll work. Of course, I'm quite sure that in the time since then, he learned a lot about the powered rails and so on, and figured out how to use them, whatnot, and a lot more about redstone circuits and how to do a lot with that. In fact, I know he did. But at the time, it was all new. And even though I know that, there is still the thing inside of me that sees that and can't help thinking, oh man, if you just do this, it would work so much better. Which is ridiculous, because you know that this is an old video. You know that this is something recorded 6-7 years ago. And, you know, just one of those, man. Oh, boy. It's like watching an old movie that you've seen 1,000 times or whatever. You know how it's going to turn out. You know the mistakes that everybody's going to make. And, that doesn't stop you from wanting to yell at them and say, hey, if you would just for once do this instead of that, you know, the bad guy wouldn't eat your face. Or you'd be able to start your car in the morning, or whatever it is, you know? I mean, I've caught myself doing that watching movies. And it's futile, I know, but that doesn't stop me from doing it. Oh boy. Just that kind of thing, I guess. And then of course there is the pace at which I'm watching those videos. Like I said, I'm up to about episode 107. And that's a lot of episodes to have watched in just a few days. Of course, back then the videos weren't 30 minutes long either. His videos at that time were just about 15 minutes, which is about right, because I remember that back then it was the only time you could upload a video that was longer than 15 minutes was if you were a YouTube partner. And back in those days, YouTube didn't let just anybody that come along become a partner. You had to apply and probably get rejected turned down a couple of times, and then reapply and so on. And eventually, they might let you do it. Now, seems like almost anybody can be a YouTube partner just by saying, hey, I wanna. And that's cool. But, you know, so that's what that was. The nostalgia thing just keeps on riding. And I just can't seem to put it down. Even now, I still think about how it might be cool to go into that world and go to that minecart station and update it to use the modern booster tracks and so on, the modern powered rails. And frankly, I could do that because some time back I found a very cool download. And the download was a copy of the Coast Quest world as it was at episode 212. So, having that world, it would be possible to open it up and go to that station and basically gut the place and redesign the innards to work with the modern rails. The only thing that makes me hesitate to that is the fact that that would mean adding powered rails every 25 for every 25 normal rails, you have to have one powered rail to maintain full speed. And that change would have to be made to every track. And there were 3 tracks. They were fairly long. And that would mean a lot of a pain in the butt of doing that, counting tracks and so on. It's not that I'm objecting to doing that. I've done it in my own world. But I don't know. Sometimes I think about doing stuff like that, but then I'm thinking, you know, why would you do that when you need to be doing this other in your own world? Because you need to do these other things to get video content. You're not going to make videos in this other person's world. At least I wouldn't expect to. I don't know. Starting to babble. I know I am. I'm ramblifying. And now I'm muting. There we go. That's better. The gentle strains of C418 guiding us through the world of Minecraft. Beta 1.7.3. As we walk in a nice, relaxing manner to the FarLands. Yeah. Oh, sorry about that. I missed. Couldn't get to the mute button in time for that one. Oh, I hate it when that happens. When In fact, there's another mute coming. Oh boy, well, that's better. I hope it stays better. So, a lot going on with the whole nostalgia thing between rewatching Co's Quest and then there's TFC Modcraft and 1.2.5. It doesn't go quite back to beta. And then, of course, there's the FTB Insanity map, which is also in 1.2.5, with a slightly different collection of mods. And, of course, there is the challenge of doing things in a Skyblock world where the only ground is the ground you make. And that if you walk off the edge, you will fall into the void. Yeah. And let's see, it looks like I am looking for a place to build one of those elevated sleeping platforms. And this is as good as any. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, and something just reminded me. Need a place to use that. And I want to find a place to use that. It would be ideal, I think, if I were to find a surface dungeon. It would be great to use in a surface dungeon to blow up the spawner cage. Assuming one can. I honestly don't know if it's possible to destroy a spawner cage with TNT. I don't think I've ever tried. Okay, now I want to try. Alright, eyeballs peeled for signs of a surface spawner, because I think that's what I want to use the TNT on. In fact, I know that's what I want to use it on. Of course, finding said spawner to use it on is not necessarily the easiest of tasks, especially when you're surrounded by quite this much water. Because from what I've seen, unless I'm mistaken, all of the surface spawners that I have seen have been in desert-like areas. So, yeah. It would be in a desert, probably. And more than likely the reason it's in a desert is because a desert is the one place where if a spawner is set up too close to the surface, the sand will cave in and the spawner's presence and position will become obvious. And so, I was hoping this was a desert, but nope, just another beach. Okay, I heard somebody walking, or something. I need to make boats, but I do not wish to have a creeper walk up on me. You know what? Okay, it's zombies underground in a cave or something. I just heard them. That's okay. This is a short enough thing to swim, so I'll just head over here and continue on. Oh boy. Been a long day, but a good one just the same. Lots of good old fun nostalgia stuff. And watching CoStar build that minecart station, that takes me back to when it wasn't too long after that, a month or two at the most, I think, when I started building the minecart station in my world. And because of the powered rails and the fact that at some point or another I figured out a switching system that was simple enough to handle it, the station that I built actually has switching set up to handle as many as 12 tracks. And you know what's goofy? I have 8 of those tracks in use. And I've got room to install 4 more for a total of 12 in that station. That's almost crazy. I remember when I first built it, I had like 2. And then not too long after that, a 3rd track. But I couldn't imagine actually building the that number of tracks, and actually the shot I might use up 12 tracks. But I'm getting close to it. Okay, I see cactus, so there is definitely desert over there, and I want to get over there and see if I can spot a surface spawner, so that we may determine by actual testing to find out whether or not TNT can destroy a spawner cage. It's time for some Minecraft science. Yeah, any excuse to blow stuff up, right? Okay. Surface spawners are generally going to be a square configuration. I'm getting up here to have a look. Nope. Not around here. Let's move on. Oh boy. What's down there? Oh, it's just a nasty place nobody wants to go. So... Alright, anything that looks kind of square down here? Not really. I don't want that. Let's see. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to look for and eventually find a surface spawner. And we're going to find out what TNT can do to one of those. Ho, hey! Well, that was pretty cool. Yeah, we know what you are. Oh, my shovel just died. Okay, and it's getting towards afternoon, 3rd day. Can't waste too much time here. But I need a new shovel regardless. Well, I guess I'm using one of those. Alright, I have to make a note in the log file. Diamond shovel used up. And yes, this is what I was looking for, the chest. Cocoa beans don't care. I'll take the wheat. I guess I'll take the gunpowder, 1 iron ingot. I'll even take the bread. The rest of that I don't want. But I do want to know if there's another chest Usually there's 2 of them. But apparently not in this one. All right. I want to make a way out. A nice, quick way out. Because now it's time TNT. Remember when you could ignite that by just punching it? Okay, we have flint and steel. Well, that was impressive. Apparently I blew up the chest as well, because there's the things I didn't take. And the spawner is gone. So, a block of TNT will destroy a spawner. Well, that's very good to know. That's cool. I like that. Alright, do I really need all that sand? Probably not. Do you know what I do need? I'm going to pop a torch there. Alright, let's get a hidey hole dug for the night. It's definitely time. Okay. Torch and dig. Yeah, there we go. Alright, I'm going to want to put a sign up there in the morning before I leave here. Just for the heck of it. Meanwhile, I need to get about business this time. Oh, and I need to dig this back 1 block further. There. All right. Let's get this down here. Get some more beds and boats made. All right. Throwing away things I don't need. Oh, good grief. I shouldn't have this much trouble finding a place to put stuff. This is ridiculous. Oh, it's because I kept the wheat. Alright, we'll throw away the sticks. Don't need those. And I guess I'll craft the wheat into bread and end up wishing that I hadn't, because I still don't have a place to put it. Alright, let's see. And torch up there, and what I should have done is make up some more torches. Because they're getting awfully low. I hear feet steps out there. Not particularly thrilled about that. Get rid of that. Keep the cobble and the dirt. Okay, I guess that's going to be about it. Oops. Let's pick this up. And Alright, I don't need pink wool. I do need my workbench. Anyway, I'm finally getting myself together here. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take it easy. I am out of here.